What's happening, everybody? 6 months and counting until I'm the big 3-0. I know this is my first vlog in a long while, since last September, and this is the first vlog of 2022, and it's the first one regarding the state of my channel for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film, aka PR Lost Galaxy 2014. You probably didn't know, for a lot of people who have, didn't get the memo, my channel is now officially 10 years old. It will be 10 really by the beginning of September, which will be 3 to 4 days until my big 30th birthday in the next 6 months at the time I'm recording this. So I do have a update for my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film series. So right now, I'm kind of doing a 180 reversal with the productions of these movies, because now that I'm really at the brink where I feel like my channel is at the point of dying, and as well as my content in general, basically I decided to want to get started on my planned would-be Power Rangers fan film universe that I had been developing for 5 years now, since 2017. And ever since I made the announcement of doing a Power Rangers fan film cinematic universe, to the point that I should stop trying to be what I've been all these years. But I do also want to talk about how I've spent my entire 10 years of doing this channel, and as 12 years overall as a Power Rangers fan. Over the last 12 years, I've been in the fandom since September, October, November, something like that, 2010. I had been acting, like, when it comes to discussions of Power Ranger fan films, I have been thinking too much about trying to be better than other people who are making fan-made projects of this property. And I realize as of now, and when I do talk about more about my update on Power Rangers, a new Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film reboot, because I'm at the point where I will discuss Infinite Frontier soon once I talk about all of that, though, that I really do want to talk about what's been going on with these movies. Okay, so as you may not know, actually let's get in the way with Infinite Frontier first before I talk about 2022, the reboot for it. Okay, so Power Rangers Lost Galaxy Infinite Frontier, which is intended to be the third and final installment of this iteration of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan films I started since 10 years ago. It was supposed to be done in time for 2021 last year, but things were running really slow. I decided to take it a lot slower with its production, because given what's going on still currently in the world right now with COVID and everything else, personally with me. And I still have not gotten, at the time of this recording of the vlog, I have not gotten the Q Reno or the Ruteo mecha from Q Ranger for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3 of the Marshverse incarnation that I started since 2014, because I know that those, Bandai Japan's Megazords are really expensive, even though I did manage to, if you go back to my last vlog talking about the fan film stuff, I did manage to get a Washi Voyager, which is the Pink Ranger's Eagle Aquila Zord, as it's called. However, I did put together footage that I did shoot during the lesser than 6 months type of time span on the fan film, shooting some footage of the Washi Voyager behind the green screen. But when I do get my hands on some blue screen for the Green Ranger's Chameleon Zord, the Green Ranger's Chameleon Voyager has to be shot behind a blue screen. And same go for anything that has green color to any following objects or characters involved. Because one of the things I did some major mistakes when doing these fan films for the last decade was that, I may not have the money to afford blue screen to separate characters that are wearing green or have some green to them behind a blue screen, and have characters just wearing like any kind of reds or blues or blacks or whites behind green screen. So I'm going to look forward to doing that, and same go for future projects to come. Also, I felt like, following the fact that now that it's been 3 years since I've been filming Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy Infinite Frontier in production, I had plans on, during the pandemic, if things got completely worse, and then also with my mental health, personal reasons, I wanted to cancel the movie because I wanted to tell you guys, or wait until I say this in a future vlog, later vlog this week or next week, about what's been going on with these movies and why there hasn't been a lot of updates. Obviously, I guess I don't want to blame the pandemic. No, I think the only person to take blame for not completing Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy Infinite Frontier is me. Because over the last year of 2021, while I did film some stuff last year, over the last year of 2021, I got caught up. Believe it or not, I was caught up playing Grand Theft Auto 5 every day. And while I was playing that game every day, since I do have a PS4, PlayStation 4, you can save video clips and game captures on that console. Same go on Xbox with their new consoles like Xbox One or the Xbox Series X and S. But the PlayStation 4 version of GTA 5, I was playing like crazy, and I got really addicted to that game on PS4, dealing with players with the, that rocket launch and flying bike thing. And then also the stress of doing that, because that also correlates to also my new fan film production of Power Rangers. I know for a fact that over the last decade I was doing these fan films. I was combining video game footage with paper puppets, because I know that usually for Power Ranger fan films, everything must be original produced footage. No splicing footage and stuff like how Saban, Disney, and Hasbro does with Power Rangers. But I wanted to try to be more out the box for the next movie, because, since I'm not doing like camcorder recording of gameplay or none of that like I did back in the last 2 movies. The third movie of my fan film series will have some of that actual capture recorded gameplay for Soul Calibur 6 lined up, since during my hiatus from filming, while I was playing Soul Calibur 6, if you saw like what I showed a demonstration of, because at least I didn't have an actual game capture sort of device this time, I actually got all of my gameplay capture footage that I'm going to likely use for Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy 3 lined up. And Infinite Frontier will be the final Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy fan film of the 2014 series to utilize gameplay footage from a Soul Calibur game, whether it be Soul Calibur 5 or Soul Calibur 6 for the fight stuff. Because after all these years I've been doing these fan films with these paper puppets, I know I wasn't thinking out the box with the puppets, because they're just paper dolls. What else can I do with the action, for action sequences? All I have to do is probably just do exposition scenes that will lead to some action. Even if the action is not all that great and it's just only one guy, I only have my own pair set of hands, I don't have no one else to help me. So therefore, I have to do this stuff on my own, finish up before my big 30th in the next 6 months. I had thought about release dates and stuff, and basically over the years I've been doing these fan films, I've been thinking too much like a wannabe big shot Hollywood producer and stuff, and it's been a mindset that's been going on with me for the last 12 years, which is something I should have stopped doing, and that's why I have been acting a bit too neurotic within the Power Rangers fandom when it comes to fan films, and then having me with this mindset acting like I want to be better than other fans who have other fan film projects of Power Rangers out there, whether it be a Mighty Morphin project or some multiverse, Ranger multiverse project thing like Shattered Pass is doing, or what Power Rangers Unworthy is doing, or what any of the other fan films out there is doing. And for the last 10 years I've been doing this channel, and also I had doubts while I was not posting a lot as usual because of all of these slow burns and stuff, is that I did have thoughts of wanting to, after Infinite Frontier was over and with its production, and then have it out whenever it's out this year or the previous year, but 2021 is gone. I had plans on making 2022 or next year likely the last time I will run this channel. But since I'm getting older now and I've been doing this for so long, I want to spend some time on myself and stop making this fan film thing of Power Rangers my life, because this thing should not be my life. As much as I like Power Rangers and Super Sentai, Toku in general, and then doing fan films as a one-person channel running this thing, I basically need to stop pretending to be something I'm not when it comes to this stuff. Because for the last 10 years I've been doing this channel, I have been acting like I have been the only person who can do better Power Ranger fan films and stuff, and I've been trying to get noticed, but it seemed like no one cared. And I realized for the last 12 years I had this ego problem, and that's why my fan films or fan film content of Power Rangers faltered, and even myself as a fan running the content for the last 10 years and counting had faltered too. Correlating to the fact that I had some run-in on one of my social medias when I was about to put out ideas, as usual, because I'm always putting out ideas before I don't act upon them in actuality, being unrealistic as usual. I had a run-in with a certain Power Rangers fan on Twitter. Not Twitter and Instagram. And this fan had called me out saying that all these years with all this content, I'm still present on social media doing this content. I said about the whole me calling me out for doing a PRLG fan film. I've been talking about it for a decade, and I have done nothing about it after that long. And basically, I still had my fair share of people calling me out and stuff, and it to the point it made me care less about this content that I've been doing now. But I realized it had deterred me from pursuing what I've been doing for the longest time. That's why Infinite Frontier is my final project of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan films. But though I am working on still that other Power Rangers Lost Galaxy film, which likely will be my real last project, I just felt like the longer I kept on doing all this other superfluous ancillary video stuff with the podcast and review stuff and whatever on this channel, I realized that's probably why my channel had been dying, because I wasn't living up to what I was supposed to be all these years. I mean, I get that I wanted to do this channel to be a variety of things, and show that I am a fan of Power Rangers. I'm not some fake or any of that and then whatever, because I know I've been doing this thing for years, and yes, I guess I haven't done anything real about it. And also, I didn't want to do any kind of crowdfunding or so on this content, because back when I started this stuff in 2012, when we were in the zeitgeist of that MMPR fan film thing, and even when we had Power/Rangers a few years later, I didn't want to crowdfund my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film content or monetize my channel, because if I did, Saban and Hasbro, since Hasbro has Power Rangers now, if I made money off these fan films, I would get sued. That's why I made these fan films as a hobby, and it's for free. And even though I do not own anything correlating to Power Rangers or any of its character names or any aesthetics related to it, even with Super Sentai and its counterparts to PR, I just wanted to do this just to entertain people, even if people can find some of my stuff for the last 10 years pretty cringy, because actually I've been a very cringy person for the last decade, and now that I'm pushing 30, I feel like I need to start taking my stuff seriously. Because, in fact, I was going through, behind the scenes, was going through some serious, deep stuff with my mental health and any other superfluous personal issues I had. Mostly mental health. My mental health was so bad during the 3 years I've been working on Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3 and the previous movies before of this trilogy. I had to ruminate over what some random trolls said in the fandom about my fan film content being paper puppet crap, and of course, it may be the case, it may be true, even if I have listened to those trolls and what they said, but I still kept on going and like, I don't care. And I stepped down from Instagram for a while following this fan calling me out saying I have been talking about this thing for 9-10 years and I have done nothing. And I wanted to call this guy out, but I stopped myself. I don't want to, start any drama with the fandom, worse as it was compared to back in, 9 years ago. And I personally just felt like 2022 should be the end of this channel. I mean, I will still do Power Ranger fan films, but I just wanted to start doing some personal. But I really had to take a long 2021, and yes, I also got my vaccination against COVID. But even after I got vaccinated, but I still have to wear my mask in public places, and around people who have not. And plus, I have filmed some stuff for Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 3 last year, but it wasn't going to be every day and every week because of COVID. And I also every day spent more hours of my time playing Grand Theft Auto than do my movie. And I know I was so caught up playing that game every day, and I was also going through my worst bout of depression all year and even early this year, because now that I'm nearing my next decade of existence on Earth, I really started having all of these issues. I was ruminating over what caused my fan film content and my presence on YouTube to die. And when I do discuss Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, The Wrath of Trakeena once more, I will probably explain to you guys sometime this month why that film likely killed my fan film series, and for me to further finish the third movie. Maybe it's just simply, maybe I am getting too old for this paper doll puppet thing now, because this thing I've been doing since I was in high school, even a few years before I was even a YouTuber, a Power Rangers fan over the internet, on YouTube and wherever. And no, even just because I'm pushing 30 doesn't mean I'm going to be like doing any normal real person stuff outside of this content, like getting married, having a kid, dating and all that stuff. No, because personally, after everything that happened for the last 12 years in my life with this content, and as a Power Rangers fan and as a Lost Galaxy fan, I basically had all of these mental issues about these movies I've been making, and why did I make them, and why did I still kept doing it after all, and why. And I think my obsession with my fan film content did push away the people in my life that cared about me the most, like my family, my brother, and my dad when he was still alive until he died of alcoholism. I felt like I pushed myself away from everything and everyone because I was so wrapped up with this Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film thing. And I know I have been so addicted with that thing since 2010, but now it's 2022. And it's 12 years since I've been doing this thing. And it felt like I just don't want to do it no more. I'm going to finish the movie and get started production on the next one. But I just feel like this is my way of saying this is the end of an era. Not saying I'm going to shut down this channel or anything anytime soon. I'll probably announce that whenever in the near future, or if I ever will. But it's just the end of a fan film era on my channel with Power Rangers. Because, for the 12 years I've been doing this, it was a really miserable and at times joyous ride, but all I had to do was all I did for the last 10 years on this channel, 12 years overall if you count my abandoned Rise of Trakina project that never got off the ground because of some stuff that happened back 11, 12 years ago back at Gaithersburg High School with the project years ago. I just felt like this is the end of an era of all of that. And that's why Infinite Frontier is going to be the culmination of the 12 years I've been doing this. And I had doubts of wanting to quit this content after I haven't gotten nowhere in life. I know I'm not making money off of this stuff. I'm not going to be a big Power Ranger YouTuber like MMPR Toys or Heirloom or Mr. Weenie Productions or Rick, the barkeep of the Onyx Tavern when it comes to this Power Ranger podcast thing, or Toy Bounty Hunters with some Power Ranger content, but it's like other stuff on there, or all the other YouTubers that I've came across in the Power Ranger fandom. Because I'm a nobody at this point. And I've been saying this off camera and wanted to say it now, that I've been a complete nobody for 10 years. I've tried to be a somebody, and it seemed like I never got caught a break. I was never given a chance. And if a lot of people would just see what I had done outside of my podcast and other videos I've done on this channel, the fan film stuff is on the channel. You know, Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy 2014 via its complete edition is available. Wrath of Trakina and its 2 cuts are available, even though people don't want to see the 3-hour stuff, because 3 hours is, in fact, way too long. But I'll discuss that later. And the Trakina Insectile Queen of Darkness spinoff is also up on YouTube. So I wonder, you must be wondering, where's Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy Infinite Frontier? It's still in production, but on some really lengthy hiatuses because of where we are still 2 years later now in March. And the pandemic is still going on. I've heard about what's been going on over at the Ukraine and Russia lately. So, but for personally for me, maybe it's just, I felt like it was time that once I'm done with this movie and the next one, this is the end of an era. Because 10 years and over 380 plus visible public videos I've done about this content, but with the following 500 videos that I have ghosted off of YouTube or deleted altogether because some copyright or some stuff when I was acting like a, you know, angry, butthurt, triggered, offended asshole and stuff in the fandom during the Neo Saban era. I just felt like that was just about it with this thing, because I realized this fan film stuff had pushed me away, or I pushed myself away with this fan film content. And then my obsession with a certain female Power Rangers villain that I have struggled for a decade to bring onto the screen in a Power Rangers fan film for the first time outside of main Power Rangers continuity from the television series that's still ongoing. And I had struggled for years to bring Trakina back, and I did that. But Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy, The Wrath of Trakina, if you go watch it, it's on my channel. Both, either if you want to watch the 3-hour and 13-minute version or the extended 3-hour and 45-minute version. Take your pick. And also the Trakina spinoff. These fan films of Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy, I have to admit, somewhere in my gut, while I was going through my quarter-life crisis and the whole anxiety of me of pushing 30 since I've wasted my 20s. I'll discuss that about my wasting 20s thing another time. All that time I wasted doing that this content, I guess maybe this is one of the reasons why nobody wanted my help, because I knew then and there no one was going to take me seriously. And I didn't take myself seriously. I didn't take these movies seriously that I've been making. And I guess a lot of people didn't understand the gist of my approach of PRLG since 2012. That was supposed to be the beginning of what was PRLG 2014. When this channel was originally called PR Lost in Galaxy 2014, 10 years ago. And as the channel grew, it seemed like majority of people only saw the videos where I ranted and woofed off the mouth about Saban and Toei and Bandai when it came to the state of the Power Rangers fandom, because at that time when I was doing all that stuff, and that's why all my energy had been depleted from doing the fan film stuff because I was not thinking right as a fan, because I was concerned about the main universe, main canonical product of PR, while I was also doing my fan fiction thing. But I knew I was not going to multitask on the two things at once, knowing that the majority of the bulk of the Power Ranger fandom only cares about the more official stuff. Fan fiction stuff is ancillary, and whether if it's good or bad, but mostly bad. And I get that I had put out some really cringy stuff over the last 10 years I've been running this channel, and also the fan film content, putting out ideas that, made sense on paper, but I was not going to be like any other Power Ranger fan trying to crowdfund a fan film. Watch what happened if I crowdfunded and then get some people involved and make money off the franchise as a fan, but Saban or Hasbro would sue me and take me to court if I made money off this content. That's why the stuff, all my channel video, I know my videos don't grow my channel. It's just, how does my channel grow though? Because I've been on YouTube for a decade now, so I should know this. The thing I've been doing all these years, it felt like I was acting too inept and stupid, but I was also going through PTSD over the past. And I have to realize it's time for me to move forward from what happened with Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, The Rise of Trakeena, from back in my high school, my final year of high school, from that time to where I am almost pushing 30 today, and as a Power Rangers fan. And Infinite Frontier, I just felt like I'm just scared to look back on my last main movie, because Wrath of Trakeena took 2 years to finish. And I'll elaborate more on that in a vlog and why it failed and stuff. So I'm going to try and get Infinite Frontier done and have it out when it's done, because I guess it's time I stop making these fan films like if they were Hollywood productions. That's the thing. I've been treating these fan films like they're Hollywood productions. And, when I'm going to have the movie out, what year should I have this movie out sort of mentality. That's only something Hollywood does. So I feel like for fan films of Power Rangers going forward after Infinite Frontier, for now on, whatever Power Ranger fan film project I do, it will come out when it's done. Or after Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 2022, I feel like I should just hang up this Quasar Saber I pulled out when I started my journey on the channel, metaphor from the season of the show if you haven't watched Lost Galaxy. And also Lost Galaxy is available to watch on the official Power Rangers YouTube channel. It has every full-length episode of Power Rangers. Kudos for Hasbro for doing that. But I just feel like once Infinite Frontier is done and once this next movie's done, it felt like I had doubts of hanging up this Quasar Saber I pulled out when I started this journey doing this content on YouTube, and put that Quasar Saber, this imaginary Quasar Saber that I pulled out since I was 20 years old when I started this channel, and put it in the rock, because I'm turning the big 3-0. I am getting close. In the next 10 years from now, if I continue this, I'll be 40 years old, and you'll say I'm an old fart, still doing the same old crap since 2012, and you still haven't changed a bit. Jokes about, old man Anthony, this dude who claimed to do this thing and of PRLG, and he hasn't done anything about it in a decade, and like, what has he been doing all this time? Ancillary crap no one gives a crap about, something like that. I know a lot of people never really cared about the fan films medium that I've been trying to do an approach and trying to be different from other Power Ranger fans, but that's the thing. I just didn't want to be like other fans. I wanted to do my own approach and where I am for my own walk of life and path in life, because I just didn't want to make money off of something that I do not own the rights to, is all. So that's why, that's why the fan films I've been doing, following since Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 2014, I just felt like Infinite Frontier should be canceled because it felt like I'm repeating history again when I started the channel announcing a fan film reboot for 2014, and here I am 10 years later doing the exact same thing. But no, I'm not going to do like I did Rise of Trakina. I have to live up to what I have to do, but I will get the movie done. But due to all the stuff going on currently and what's going on with my mental health and all that stuff, I will get the movie out when it's done. I have until September of this year, in the next 6 months as of this recording, to get this movie done. If I don't get it done, then I guess it's dead in the water. It's a dead project now. I had 3 years to finish it. 2 years if you count the previous year before the big V that we're still in erupted, and then during the year of the beginning of the pandemic, and during the very difficult times we all have been living in, and with myself included, I had to slow down filming Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy 3 because of many factors. Again, the Megazords from that Sentai, and also, like, how am I going to conclude this iteration of Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy? I don't want to do what they did in the last batch of episodes because, well, spoiler alert for Infinite Frontier, if you saw the teaser trailer for Infinite Frontier from 2 years ago, late 2 years ago, around Thanksgiving, there was a teaser of Terra Venture floating into the Lost Galaxy. But except, there ain't going to be no Captain Mutiny in this version of PRLG I'm doing for the last of the 2014 universe. Because I don't want to repeat everything that happened in the final batch of Lost Galaxy episodes in the third movie of my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, because it's been done already. It's going to have the Terra Venture and the Lost Galaxy arc, but I'm not going to do no Captain Mutiny stuff. I'm not going to do no like Magna Defender losing his powers thing again, like what happened in the TV show, because given my own personal trauma of that from watching that as a kid, when watching Lost Galaxy as a kid, if I ever do bring Trakina back, she's only going to have like 1 or 2 scenes in this third movie, and that will be the end of it. I do not want to make Trakina into that Trakiniot hybrid between her and Deviot again. I do not want to go, and also if you haven't seen Power Rangers Lost in Galaxy, The Wrath of Trakina on my channel, in my second fan film of PRLG, Trakina had already killed Villamax off. So Villamax is not going to be in the third movie, just to let you guys know. Because Villamax is dead in the second movie, so there's going to be no Villamax, no Kegler, no Trakina. Kegler will be in the third movie. I just haven't filmed any new footage of him for this movie yet. It's been 2 years since the pandemic started when I started filming more footage, but no Trakina with her, the Deviot, stuff, and then her with the green mutant form thing, not doing that in my last outing of PRLG for the 2014 generation. The mid to late 2010s generation. I do not want to do that again. I'm not going to do it in the PRLU, even if it's part of Power Rangers canon and what a lot of fans of Lost Galaxy loved and Power Ranger fans in general loved. But personally, for me, you can say I'm being a fake Power Ranger fan and saying I'm not going by what's in canon when I'm doing my own take of it in fan fiction. But I just don't want to do what was done already, because that's the problem with all this nostalgia and all these reboots nowadays. You're just essentially doing the same stuff as the original thing. When a new person taking on this material is doing it, it's not as good. It's not as good as how the original people, Saban, Jonathan Zacher, Judlin, and all of them did with the season 23 years ago, or for any Power Ranger series, even if it's part of Power Rangers history. But I just don't want to do it again. Oh yeah, that's my little update on Infinite Frontier. I know I haven't been doing a lot of updates. I don't want to, one of the reasons why my channel had lasted this long, and my presence as a Power Rangers fan doing this thing for so long, I just don't want to burn people out with a bunch of update videos of what I'm doing with these fan films. I don't want to put out a lot of fan films out, because the intent was for me to do this as a trilogy, see where this goes, and then once the trilogy's done, then see where I go with the future of this channel. If not, if it doesn't pan out, then I can just retire and move on to some other thing, start a new YouTube channel doing something else, Power Ranger related or something, I don't know, or anything until the day I am gone. Now, as for a new update for my Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film reboot for the Power Rangers Lightning universe. Originally since 2017, if you go back to my video of the Terror Adventure podcast that was 3 hours long, as for my 2022 fan film project of PRLG, I am halfway almost done with the script for this one, at least. But it seemed that like my passion is now onto a Power Rangers Lost Galaxy fan film that has Leo, Damon, Kai, Kendricks, Maya, and Mike involved. Because the 2014 universe of movies I've been doing, they were a bunch of OC proxies of those Rangers, but not as good, or except the Yellow Ranger was half male, half female, in between, rotating in and out with Yellow Rangers and Pink Ranger, the Pink Ranger being, still female, but rotating out. And personally, if you probably haven't followed me on Instagram within these last 3 months since November, when I did a fan cast of actor choices I wanted for the Galaxy Rangers, I saw nothing but a lot of negative reception for some of those people who didn't like the choices. I'm still going to keep Liam Hemsworth and Laura Vandervoort as Leo and Kendricks in my mind for the puppets, but my choice for Maya, Willa Holland, is going to be swapped out again, because once again I had another alumni from the CW Arrowverse as one of the as the Yellow Ranger, and it's just not a high price. I apologize, I had to stop at a part of the recording because the battery on my camcorder was going down. Anyway, because with the choices that I had for the Galaxy Rangers for the PRLU, the intent was, and I know there were some Power Ranger fans that didn't like some of my choices in the fan cast. If you go on my Instagram for this content, so many people did not like some of the choices for Leo and Kendricks and them for this thing, because I know that a lot of Power Ranger fans, this is the thing when I discuss the fandom, when I get around it someday in the future, I really feel like it's like, I guess some fans want me to recast the entire team with much younger actors for the fan cast rather than actors that are like over the age of 30. The intent was to do this cast, well, basically I want to do a more alternate reality if the Galaxy Rangers were really adults, because there's some actors that have played superheroes that are around the age of 30 if the actor's around the age of 32. But I understand that the Power Rangers, for a lot of majority of Ranger teams, Mighty Morphin, Mega Force, Dino Thunder, what have you, they have to be teenagers. But whereas Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, Time Force, Wild Force, to a degree, SPD, RPM, Rangers like that, and even Beast Morphers, even. Those Rangers are adults with profession. But I understand that people over the age of 30 don't have the same amount of stamina or charisma as a 20-something. But now that my 20s are ending, it's kind of too late for me to have that kind of stamina to do any high kicks and stuff. If I was doing a live-action fan film instead of doing it with inanimate puppet doll objects or action figures, I could have done this stuff with live actors if I had the money to afford the costumes and stuff like that. But, again, if I was doing a Mighty Morphin project, I would have, because, again, a lot of majority of my Power Ranger fan films are all Mighty Morphin-centric, but that's okay. But yeah, the fan cast choice I have for the Rangers, it's, if you can find this on my on Instagram, if you look up anything PRL Power Rangers Lost Galaxy, there's this. But again, there is nothing but negative reception from people who don't like some of these choices, because I get that. And even I had this one guy who did not like my choices for Kendricks and Maya, that being Willa and Laura again, because Willa, well, again, where is she nowadays? Well, again, I don't know, disappeared off the face of the earth after Arrow ended. But then it seemed that like I had to deal with some really antsy people who just did not like some of the choices. And I feel like now I need to change my choice for the Yellow Ranger once more. That's probably the only thing I have to do now. I'm still going to keep the choices I have for Leo, Kendricks, Damon, Kai, and Mike, but Maya, once again, is going to get recast. This is like it feels like I'm going through the trauma of dealing with recasting and finding so many different fan cast choices for Trakina that I've been doing for the last decade. Because of all the times I struggled to find the perfect actress to look like Trakina in a PRLG reboot thing, now I'm doing the same thing with the Yellow Ranger. The intent was for, based on as I'm writing the script and everything, that I wanted to do the Yellow Ranger much younger than the Pink Ranger. And I want, if she would be potentially a love interest for Leo. And the actress, because you know how like in Hollywood, when you have a male actor, a male leading actor who is older than his female co-star, who is a few years younger than him, that was the intent. Because not only that, Willa Holland, when I fan cast her as my choice as the Yellow Ranger of Maya, she is at least a year younger than my choice for, you know, in terms of if she was in a Red Ranger, Yellow Ranger romance with Leo. With Liam Hemsworth being 32 now, but he was 31 when when I was finalizing the fan cast, but he was like in his late 20s when I fan cast him. But I understand people want me to change up the entire cast with much younger people I don't know about, because I do go around seeing a lot of fan casts for a lot of Power Ranger reboot cast considerations from a lot of fans, and most of the choices are mostly younger actors I don't know nothing about. I've never seen these guys in anything, whether it be from a CW show, like whether it be Superman and Lois kind of young actor choices. Like suppose if I chose, or anybody from like Riverdale's fan casting, or I know for most people with that upcoming reboot of MMPR for Netflix from Hasbro, with want the entire Cobra Kai cast in a MMPR reboot film, because even though I'm not a Karate Kid or Cobra Kai kind of guy, but I can see why fans want those kind of people. But for a Lost Galaxy movie, I mean, if these are my choices for the Rangers, those are my choices. I know people got really offended by, I got Laura Vandervoort from Smallville and whatever stuff she was in if she was Kendricks, but like, yeah, she's almost pushing 40, but who gives a crap? I almost stuck the middle finger though, but I almost wanted to, because like, and then Paul Wesley, who will be turning 40, or he has probably turned 40 already. If you saw on the fan cast thing on my Instagram, he is my choice for Mike. But I think he's kind of a little too old to be Mike. I know I was kind of second considering considering Robbie Amell, Stephen Amell's brother, for Mike. Paul Wesley, he was my choice for Mike since 2017. That's been 5 years. I guess maybe I should make Mike much younger than he should be, because make him at least 2 years or 3 years older than Leo, I think, in this version. The reason why I fan cast Liam Hemsworth and Paul Wesley to be my version of Leo and Mike in this thing is because in the Power Rangers Lost Galaxy we know and love, one fun fact behind the scenes for Lost Galaxy is that Danny Slavin, who played Leo, was 5 years older than Russell Lawrence, who played Mike. So in this version of PRLG, Mike, in this version, is a few years older than Leo. And I got actors that are actually proper to be like older brother, younger brother, in a way. Even if Mike will be a bit like 8 to 9 years older to be an older brother to Leo in this version that I'm doing. Leo is, well, again, I also don't want him to be some sort of a bum, stowaway, like, because also this version of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy I'm constructing for this reboot, this is going to be yet again another reimagining. This time a reimagining that feels a little close to what we all remember, but I also want to put my own spin to the characters of Leo and Kendricks in them, instead of going by what I know and what I've seen infinite amount of times with this season. But I get that. I know I don't own the characters. I do not own anything about these Power Rangers or any Power Rangers or all Power Rangers. I'm just trying to do my own thing of it. I mean, if I take examples from what Power Rangers Unworthy did or what the Shattered Past people did, it's fan fiction. I mean, of course, like, you gotta stay true to what's in the source material. I just don't want to do a version that just feels too much close to home, you know, because I've seen Lost Galaxy, and I will continue seeing more until the day I die. And it's the same old story, the same old character arcs, the same old thing. Even if it's part of established canon to the characters and what's true to the characters and the actors that brought those characters to life. I'm not saying I'm going to be like I did with the 2014 version. I said 2004, I was 12 years old. I was too young to do anything yet. And there was no YouTube yet back then. But it's just, I just want to do a version of it that would make Power Ranger fans happy or upset with some of the changes. And that's all I'm trying to do, because I guess this last iteration of films I've been doing was just something that I just had to do because I wanted to compete with whoever was doing fan films of higher concept than me. Because not only that, another thing I forgot to mention during my vlog in the update when talking about why I haven't such and such with the 2014 version is that now 2014 is already 8 years now, so it's 2022. It's 8 years later. One of the factors why I haven't done an actual big all-out fan film of Power Rangers Lost Galaxy with Leo in them and such is that I was insecure and jealous of other Power Ranger fans, and I realized my jealousy and insecureness and my sense of entitlement around this led to my downfall and my decline as of right now. My decline in everything, my self and this content that you're watching and whatever I put out every now and then with some updates. That's why I have been acting irrational and crazy in the fandom. If you don't know, I'm here anyway, because I know a lot of people don't know who I am. If you would have followed my history, if you know, being on the internet in the Power Ranger fandom for this long, since I've been doing this stuff, this is what was wrong with me. I was being insecure, I was entitled, I was selfish, I was jealous, because other Power Ranger fans were doing better with whatever I tried to do all by myself as I had to struggle. Maybe I need to stop pretending to be something I'm not. That's probably why I have been acting this way all these years, out, on and off camera or on and off social media posts. I mean, you may think I'm making this all up for attention. I'm not. I'm just being real about this. But it's just, yeah, I have also some personal problems I have to deal with on my own, behind the scenes, because of what I have been doing for years. And so, yeah, the script is almost halfway done with this movie. I don't have a start date of filming yet because, okay, I guess I'm going to have to cut production on the movie short. I had all year of last year of 2021 to film Power Rangers Lost Galaxy 2022. I got caught up with my video game addiction and every other addiction I had in 2021 during quarantine and whatnot. And plus, I was getting worse with my mental health, and maybe I just didn't want to take up the responsibility of doing fan films anymore, and I just felt like I failed. I failed to be what I was set out to be, but I feel like I'm just too late. I know I'm pushing 30 in 6 months, but I feel like I'm too late. I had 9 years to get my act together. 10 if you count when I started the channel and everything else with that. So it feels like it's kind of too late. While I am writing the script, but when I do start filming, it'll probably be 39-day shoot, 40-day shoot, probably. I probably have plans on filming the fan film with those paper dolls and stuff once more but I feel like this is going to be the last time I'm going to do fan films with paper dolls. I mean, if people ain't going to give me credit for it, but even though it's just something no normal functioning grown 20, 30, 40 something person in the fandom would like to watch, see another 20, 30 something dude, in the fandom do. Because I know that I've been doing this paper doll puppet fan film thing of Power Rangers for so long as I remember, and 12 years is a lot. And ever since my abandoned PRLG Rise of Trakina thing from 2010, 2011, all the way to now, this is what has reduced me to. And I had plans on shaping things up with what I'm going to announce going forward into the series in the future of my fan films of Power Rangers. I might start utilizing more of Hasbro's Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures for certain parts of the movies. But although Hasbro is not done with Lost Galaxy just yet, although when I do get my hands on the Lost Galaxy Blue Ranger and do a review on it on the channel, I can wait for Lost Galaxy Green, Yellow, and Pink come out, and the villains, but it will be a while for those characters to be done. So I feel like for the time being, just, when I get my hands on Lost Galaxy Blue, I have already made a custom Lost Galaxy Pink Ranger out of an existing Lightning Collection figure, even though the paint job is not all that great. But when I do the movie and film it and show some dailies or so, you'll see it. If I ever do some dailies, production dailies. Plus, I need to cut back from all the video game stuff I've been using to back my way up and hiding my hind with that gameplay for the action sequences. One of the many problems that not many people have pointed out, but I know my brother had pointed out to me, and why I argued with him about it in the past. Although my brother never really wanted anything to do with my Power Ranger fan films. He never had, because, he's onto his thing and I'm just alone. I know I'm not alone, but I feel alone because of, I'm isolated because of my fixation with this thing. I really have gotten pretty Victor Frankenstein with this stuff I've been doing for years. And that's probably what drove to my downfall, was my obsession with these fan films and the paper doll puppets. My fixation with Trakina and bringing her into a fan film. Because I was also acting too much of a fanboy. If you go back to my podcast video about why I hated Trakina's Revenge thing, you'll understand why, and some other factors what led to me this way as a Power Rangers fan who no one gives a crap about. I know I exist in the fandom, but I'm just not important. I realized that my obsession with this fan film stuff had ruined my life. So I felt like 2022 should be the last time I'm going to do this thing. In the medium, I've been doing it for 12 years, because I do want to announce you and unveil what I've been working on this last month while on hiatus from any updates for the fan film content that's supposed to be the main focus of this channel, but instead it's all this other stuff. Do you recall Hasbro's 12-inch figures for Marvel, Star Wars, and Power Rangers? Last month I took one of these 12-inch Marvel Titan Hero figures of Iron Man and nearly did a custom Power Ranger with this thing. But I'm planning on probably doing fan films with these, and do a mix-up of some shots with these things and shots with the Lightning Collection figures. Even though the Titan Hero thing is really Marvel with Hasbro, but Power Rangers also has 12-inch figures, but Hasbro had already released 12-inch, Mighty Morphin figures in their 12-inch line of figures. You can buy off Amazon or wherever you can find those 12-inch figures. I know that this is not my best work of taking, this is the original Iron Man, but at least this is going to stay what it is with my Marvel collection. But for like a Power Ranger collection, but even though it's still a Marvel product, I know this is not great by any means. I tried my best with the paint and everything, and modifications and glitter on the shoulders and tape around the figure, but that's what I was intending. Because I feel like as I'm phasing out from the paper doll thing, I guess I do want to do something that give the inanimate puppets and stuff more dimension with these action figures, 12 inch, or the Marvel Legends custom, Power Ranger Lightning Collection custom type things. Because I've noticed how I can see why a lot of people didn't want to take me seriously with the other films I've been doing over the years. I'm still going to do paper dolls of the Power Rangers for the PRLU, but it feels like I have to reduce the amount of puppets, paper doll puppets, I use, because I understand no normal functioning 20, 30 something and older person wants to see another 20, 30 something person, like I said, keep doing that stuff, because it's something that I probably should have grew out of years ago. No wonder that's why I got bitched out in the comments by those trolls for doing that in the fandom, and any other random Power Ranger fan even on Ranger Board about that years ago, because I knew I was not going to take myself seriously doing that, because that's probably why I got looked down upon, and I was emotionally upset, hurt, and I was going mental crazy and stuff because of what people online were saying that made me felt bad and disappointed and ashamed of what I've been doing, because I realized it's like people just wanted to get a rise out of me and want to troll me and lead me to, I don't want to say, but that's what made me felt like that. So that's what I have to talk about in my ramble while talking about some updates about the films. So yeah, I'm going to plan on doing more of this and phasing out of the paper doll thing, but getting a lot of these Titan Hero or any type of 12-inch Hasbro figure for Marvel Power Rangers or so is what they are. Even though these are kids' toys, but I'm just going to try to make this more, like, use it for an adult purpose, because this is going to be a more adult-oriented Power Ranger project, but it still has something that's more of a kid's toy. But as a collector, and doing customs, even if my customs are not all that. So those are my updates for Infinite Frontier and Power Rangers Lost of Galaxy 2020. I do have plans on getting Power Rangers Lost of Galaxy 2022 done, because I have plans on releasing the project this summer. I'm not going to tell you when, and when I give you an update via social media on Twitter, my personal Facebook, or the Power Rangers Lost of Galaxy fan film Facebook page, and the Instagram for this thing, because I just feel like it's time that I, stop acting how I've been with these things for a really long time. Do what I have to do, get this out of the way, because when I turn 30, I know people are going to say, you're 30 years old and you're still doing this stuff. Ha ha. Loser, and loser and all of that stuff. So that's my update vlog on the fan films and what's been going on still, and I'm still going through the same old stuff. I will get the script will be done, and I'll start filming most of this month and all of April. Have the film because again, all that time I've wasted this past year playing GTA Online out of addiction with video games and stuff, because I was depressed and everything. There was a lot of stuff I wanted before the big V happened, but I can just always wait until when the pandemic potentially will be over. That's it, Ranger Nation and everybody out there. Hope you guys got what I have to say about this content, and I'll see you guys in a few more vlogs for the month regarding my status with the fan films and everything else.